Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time.
You go have fun, Deanna.
Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Good Saturday morning to all my beautiful coffee beans. It's nice to see you. We are doing our part 2 of yesterday's Sebastian Rogers. Where is he? Where is he? nice to see you this beautiful Saturday morning. I need your energy. It's called coffee. You want to know where my energy comes? It comes from Delilah waking me up at 4:30 in the morning. That is not...
All I can say is it's totally fake news.
That
Just
is
fake.
not.
It's fake. It's made up stuff.
Not fake news. Not fake news. Called coffee. Called coffee. Coffee and no sleep. It's just joking. I'm just joking. I'm actually doing well. I'm very, very thankful. Christmas is gone. Christmas is gone. We are off to the new year, folks. If you're not off to the new year, well, yeah, you know.
You are fake news.
Don't know what to say. I know. I don't know what's going on in Betty's world.
Honestly, it's fake news. It's fake. That would be another example of, as you say, fake news. You know why? Fake news. It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen.
And you're on the Bullhorn Betty. The Bullhorn Betty show, where we have breaking news, not fake news. We give that, we'll leave that to mainstream media, okay? We will leave that to mainstream media. I didn't find the button. It was one of my Christmas gifts, and I'm pretty sure it came from... Oh, good gracious. I don't know who it came from. Okay, we had buttons flying, okay? A lot of buttons came from Robin, and there are some buttons that came from Karen. I'm not sure if it was Robin or Karen, one of them, but she got me the card with the...
The news is fake.
Tucker needs that.
Oh, like I'm not gonna sing. It's no fun being a burger man in a seafood town. Okay, everyone, great job back in the kitchen.
Great job back in the kitchen. Great job.
Do what you love. You create your reality. Feed fear a suck-it sandwich.
Feed fear a sucking sandwich. Oh my god, a sucking sandwich. Well, for the beauties that decided to bless us with your presence this beautiful morning, everybody has survived the Christmas holiday, and we're starting off Saturday a little late this morning, but that's okay. I've already talked to the best friend. She knows we're running late. I got all the time for you, babes. I got all the time in the world for you. I do. Okay. All right, I'm laying it on a little thick. You guys know I don't want you guys. I don't want to see you guys for at least another year. Okay, I'll see you guys in 2020. No, I'm just joking. You guys will see me the rest of this week until 2026 arrives. Okay, we got serious business to do here. Denise, it's nice to see. Take two. Denise, it's nice to see you. Lisa B, always. Melanie, Phil, it's nice to see you. Mom of 9.5. Deanna, it's nice to see you. Our handy dandy Nightbot is maxing and relaxing. Show Poodles, Kiki decides to bring it over here. Oh, we forgot to start off with the vertical. Debbie, it's nice to see you. Vicky, Deanna, it's nice to see you. Rebby, it's nice to see you. It kind of popped up on me. Where was I? Sandy, good morning. Let them 66. It's nice to see you, Love Bug. It's nice to see you, Deanna. Lisa, Brian, hello. Baron Shapiro needs it as well. Hey, you know what? I don't know. Ben Shapiro's kind of rubbing off just ever so slightly, okay? I know there's a lot of feuds going on in our camp, but I mean, I'm not in the feuds. I can like who I want to like, right? I like Ben Shapiro a little on a few different things, okay? Just like I like Alex Jones a little bit on a few different things, but I do love Benny Johnson a whole lot. You know, I do love that man a whole lot. He good people. He good people, okay? I'm just saying, he good people. He good people. Debbie, Mama, it's nice to see you, Love Bugs. I hope you guys are doing well. Hey, vegan. Mama me. It's nice to see ya. Nice to see you. Who else did I miss? Brian. Oh, yeah, I love me some Betty. I love me some Betty. So, as I promised, before we start in, we got the mini book, okay? We got You Are a Badass mini book. It was part of our present. It comes with the button.
You are a badass.
Just saying, it comes with the button. So, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I think it's important. It comes with a book. I think it's important that we read. And we're going to go through this, and we're going to read a little chapter before we move on. Now, I am telling you guys, I'm blind as a bat, so please. Hey, Eeyore, it's nice to see you. How do I subscribe? You're going to have to ask the mods about that, okay? I'm just the face, okay? I don't know the technical crap. Come on. I'm the talent, not the brawn or the brain, okay? Come on. No, I'm just joking. We have mods. We have mods to help you. Our handy dandy mods. We love our mods. Do we even have any mods in here? That might be your problem. I don't think we have any live mods today. Our mods haven't woke up. You'll have to come back for that. So, introduction, okay? So this is the introduction on You Are a Badass. And I gotta tell you, one of the reasons why I'm reading this is because the first sentence, is it the first sentence? I think it's the first two sentences. No, I think it's the first sentence. I don't know why my email says Brian. I'm Rhonda here in Idaho, watching here since Idaho 4. Oh, well, it's nice to see you. Well, you know what? Don't change your name. It's probably a good thing that you got a different name on your chat. It keeps you anonymous, and you don't trust me. Anonymous is where you want to be. Hey, C-Splan it. We're gonna call you C-Splan. C-Splan. Instead of C-SPAN. Okay, I'm just joking. All right, it's nice to see you. What is it? Langenberg? CP Langenberg, it's nice to see you. So I can barely read it. Maybe I need other glasses. Do I have my other glasses in here? I do not have other glasses in here. These don't look strong enough for this little book and little print, but we're gonna work with it. Maybe it'll help if I turn the lights on. Does it help? It helps a little. So I'm assuming if you're reading this that there's some area of your life that aren't looking so great. Told you. The very first sentence. Narita, it's nice to see you. Good morning. And that could be looking a whole lot better. This book is about getting mighty clear about what makes you happy and what makes you feel most alive, and then creating it instead of pretending you can't have it. Woo! I love it. Or that you don't deserve it, because we all deserve it. We all deserve it. Oh, wrong one. We all deserve it. Or that you're greedy, egomaniac, fathead for wanting more than you already have. Boo! It's about having the kahunas to show up as the brightest, happiest, baddest version of yourself, whatever that looks like to you. Ooh, they already got me. I'm already in the selling. That's the introduction. We got to stop right there, because next is chapter 1. We ain't going on to chapter 1 just yet. That was just the tease. That was just the clickbait. Okay? You gotta get on there. I gotta reel you in. Right? Because you're a badass. You're a badass. We're turning ourselves from zeros into heroes, folks. That's what we're planning on doing. All right, maybe I'm selling the sizzle and not the steak. Okay, you caught me. Tammy, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Let me see who else is over here at the... Isabel, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Kiki, oh, you already came over here. Stacy, it's nice to see you. Phil, hello. We got about 10 people rolling in our vertical stream, so if you're there intentionally, good morning. It's nice to see you from the bushes. Please chat in that chat box. We'll try to get around to you. We are monitoring both chats, but we're only putting one chat up here, and it's from the horizontal stream. So if you would like to be over here where the rest of the crew is, you're more than welcome to come over. If not, enjoy your time over there on the vertical stream. I've been up since midnight with a little, and I need a nap. Oof. That sucks. I've been up since 4:30 because the dog decided to lick my face until I woke up. And then she acted like she needed to go outside to go pee, and so I took her outside at 4:30 in the morning for her to play with the kitties and sniff around the yard. It was just great. Don't you know? All right, guys. Well, it has been nice catching up with you. As you guys know, we have been going down the memory lane of the Sebastian Rogers case. If you guys are new to the Sebastian Rogers case or forget about what happened in that case, don't worry. Go back to part 1, which we did last night, and check that out. What I'm doing right now is I'm going through my emails. I'm going through my emails backwards. We're going to the furthest, the ones that were sent the longest time ago. And we're bringing them up. And you know, it's kind of painting a picture. We're going to do this with everything. This is Sebastian Rogers, searching Sebastian Rogers. The next one is just going to be Sebastian. The next one after that is going to be Rogers. If we get more information, we're going to keep going back to the beginning. Something is going to creep up. Something is going to catch our memory. Something's going to catch somebody else's memory. We've got a lot of people that tune into this case, period. There's just a lot of people that have a vested interest in what happened to Sebastian Rogers, because Sebastian Rogers really is America's kid, right? Sebastian Rogers is a high-functioning autistic boy. He came into the world fighting. He's been fighting a lot since he's been in this world, and then he disappears just when he's about to go to his dad's house. Very ironic. And the date that he disappears on, another significant meeting for their family. Just a lot of oddities, to say the least. Oddities that are pointing the finger in one direction, if I had to say so myself. Lots of oddities. But Sebastian, he was 15 years old when he disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee on February 26, 2024. He has not been seen since, and that is correct. We are almost to the 2-year milestone. Good morning, Sonia. Frank, it's nice to see you. Good morning. What we have learned, and there's 2 variations of this, and I think we've kind of identified it on here. You know, there's a variation of this story or theory where Sebastian does not arrive home, and that's the theory that has been talked about. I think we kind of need to bounce between the 2 theories because there is a lot to be had here, you know. I believe they, or blank, since, oh, concrete over him. Brian K. You're talking about Brian. Yeah, but Harsh Reality has been so off base. Like Harsh Reality I learned about and probably feuded with during the Summer Wells case, you know, and he didn't really have a whole lot of following. But, you know, it's always funny. The people that go to the conspiracy theories and, you know, literally pander to every crackpot theory are the ones that grow a lot quicker. And he was one that just pandered to a lot of crackpot theories. I didn't like him or Joseph Morris during the Idaho 4. I thought they were way off base. They were always off base. Just in my opinion. But me and Harsh Reality, I think I blocked him years ago. I don't pay attention to, I think Harsh Reality is a joke. Okay. I think he's a joke from overseas. I think I just don't like him. I've never really been a Harsh Reality fan. If he was more credible, maybe, or, you know, was something where every time I go over there, I find such problems in his theories, you know, and I find problems in the research work that he presents. I don't know. You guys do what you will. It's just not my cup of tea. Harsh Reality is just not my cup of tea. But there's a variety of reasons why. But just be careful and make sure you do your own, as with anybody, right? Do your own facts, your fact checking, your own fact basis, your own research and stuff like that. You utilize everybody as a tool to derive information and different perspective, and do your own research and put together your own theory, right? Never be hook, line, and sinker into any particular person's theory without doing your own research. Yeah, things make sense, but there was a lot of people that disagreed with me on Melody Buzzard's case, even my own mods, and that was okay. I was still going to run the show the way I thought it needed to be ran, and speak on the perspective that I thought it was going, and I was wrong, and it's okay, and I'm perfectly fine being wrong. You know, I prefer it being wrong when I think they're deceased and them being alive than when I think they're alive and then them being deceased. But as you guys can clearly see, they're deceased more times than they're alive. And it's usually their caregiver or a parent more times than it's not. So, I mean, there are some things that we can take away from, you know, the silver lining in the story and all of that. But in the Sebastian Rogers case, I think it's very clear kind of who the only culprit really could be. I mean, at the end of the day, there was only one adult in that house with that child, and that child went in the house alive and never came out again. Okay? Law enforcement can't see where this child came out of the house willingly or walking or on his own volition. I mean, we know that. Harsh, given fun with After Dark, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really... I used to be I saw how many idiots followed JLR, you know, because it was like they were so, like, some people rely, and in all fairness, you know, JLR, even me at the time, I would go there just to see what he'd come up with, because he was always doing research, and it was before I, you know, my blinders came off, and I was able to see him for who he is, and I realized a lot of the stuff he created himself, like a lot of the news segments, which was very clever. I mean, I never even thought about it, but you know, you go in there and you create your own news, and it was like, oh my gosh. And then once you realize what was going on, you saw exactly who was creating the news and basically how they were creating the news. And this only happened after Seth Rogers and him split. So what had happened is the Cajun Navy came in, and the Cajun Navy was affiliated with Lively, whatever the hell that chick's name is. I can't stand her. I really can't. You know, she's pregnant right now and stuff like that. Maybe she's calmed down, but I hated her when she did true crime. I mean, literally loathed her. She was an idiot. I don't know how else to put it than an idiot, okay? And yet, yeah, she had a following, and yeah, she was out there out front with the United Cajun Navy, but trust me, it was all self-serving. And she turned it into photo ops versus actual work, which really pissed me off, because you guys know how I am. When we get out there, you know, yeah, if we have time to do photo ops, okay, yeah, I'll sit with you. Hi, how you doing? You know, but let's get to work. And it's usually wherever I'm going to be. I'm not sitting behind a table waiting for people to walk up to me and take Photoshop, you know, or photos with me, right? I'm out in the field, right? I'm actually working when you take photos with me. I'm not sitting behind a desk looking pretty, okay? And so it really pissed me off, but she hates JLR. And so she was already in the United Cajun Navy's ear. And so this was the big, huge, you know, fight between the United Cajun Navy and, JLR. And JLR got the boot. And he was so offended that Seth, a person that he had been working for since the beginning, gave him the boot for this United Cajun Navy, which wasn't even the real Cajun Navy. And so, you know, that turned around. So JLR was trying to prove that these people weren't who they really were, even though they were a nonprofit, which is true. The United Cajun Navy is not the 2016 Cajun Navy, which is the one that were known for the floods of Katrina, okay? This is another branch. There's been many United Cajun, different factions of Cajun Navy created for nonprofit for funding purposes. But the United Cajun Navy, from everything I could see, did a lot of fundraisers, giving out food, backpack, those type of things to their local community and stuff like that. And even when they came into town, from my understanding, they didn't really even have their own equipment. But, I wasn't out there at the time. This is all second nature. This wasn't things that I have personally observed myself. These were things that were being funneled to me by people on the ground. But I knew that the inner and outers of it was this big, huge fight and falling out between Seth and JLR. And then JLR started, taking a turn and really going after Seth. And then he started creating news, and how he was creating news was going into this huge. They created this this Sebastian Rogers group that was kind of co-signed by Seth, and of course JLR built that up to like 40 or 60,000 people, and then booted everybody out. And then he started running his own stories in there, and basically going in there as anonymous people or creating other accounts like a granny or grandpa and saying, oh, I saw this, or I know this. And then he would take that and say, did you see this? And then create news from whatever he personally went in there and published. He was creating news, and everything he was creating was to dog Seth. So that's kind of how that whole situation had happened. But the United Cajun Navy came in to help. And this is kind of where everything started to fracture and fray. And then the United Cajun Navy, packs up and leaves because of the chaos that I was even part of creating for them. But it was created by JLR and Dolly during this time against the United Cajun Navy, because the United Cajun Navy had bowed up on both of them while they were out there searching. And that's kind of how the situation started. And this was in addition to what Chris and Katie's group were also doing. So it was just a very toxic situation going on out there. But at the end of the day, nobody can really dispute the fact that people were searching. Everybody was searching. But you know who wasn't? Christopher and Katie Proudfoot. They were the only ones, them and their family, the ones that lived in that general area. Seth was moving, coming in and commuting from his home to the area almost daily. His parents, his mom and dad were in the area too, also searching on foot. So we had all these people, strangers out there searching in the woods and on foot. And then you had the United Cajun Navy coming in with a huge group where they searched a lot of places, and of course were accused of going on people's property, stepping on federal land, but they were following the tracks where the tracks were leading, where they had the dogs and stuff like that, and they did find some questionable stuff before being ultimately thrown off the federal land. But let's go back and realize what we learned. Sebastian disappeared. His mom was the only one in the house with him. There's no evidence of him ever leaving that house. The only time anybody left that house that morning was when Katie left in her vehicle, and it seemed like she got out of Dodge really quick before circling back and then slowly driving through the neighborhood. But at this point, she had her windows up. So it wasn't like she's hollering at the window, for Sebastian. She's just driving around looking like she just needs to be picked up on some cameras, looking like a concerned mom when she's not really acting like a concerned mom. And so we learned that, another tidbit that was released by JLR was the fact that Chris was an abuser. He did abuse several of his ex-wives that were coming to the surface. Then we had a neighbor, kind of spilling the tea, saying that everybody kind of thinks that Chris and Katie are responsible and that something happened to this boy inside their home. And then we find out that Chris and Katie, after, all of this stuff coming out, their neighbors side-eyeing them and them failing to help with the United Cajun Navy search, and then being caught at a restaurant after telling everybody they're not allowed to even leave their home. It put a lot of pressure on Chris and Katie. And so instead of dealing with the pressure, they decide to ass up in their camper and literally flee the area. And there's no other way to describe it other than they fled the area. What freaking parents flee the area when their child is missing? And they go out of state into a camp. Hey, Gypsy, it's nice to see you, love. And they take their camper, and Katie goes with them. And we find out later, hindsight, that they throw a blanket and food, canned tuna, out the frickin' front door in case he wanders back up on the stoop like a frickin' dog. It was disgusting and deplorable. And then that leads us to the fact that we have nobody with answers, parents fleeing the area, a father crying for help and never even getting it from the other parents, begging law enforcement to find his son. Nobody is doing anything. Parents are fleeing. Law enforcement's barely speaking. And then, oh my gosh, we hear that Christopher Proudfoot is tearing down signs of his stepson that people are posting up. Is this true? Is this not true? I don't know. Let's look.
So as we know, Sebastian Rogers is still missing. The people in his life are his father, who he didn't live with at the time when he went missing, his mother, Katie Proudfoot, and stepfather, Christopher Proudfoot. Now,
if you don't know who that voice is, that is Crime Stories Obsessed. Sometimes she's from across the pond. She's in the UK, and she's a first responder in the UK. So if you guys have not heard of her or heard of her channel, please consider going and subbing it up. I've known her for years. I've known her since the Summer Wells case, and she has always been such a sweetheart, always trying to help out, always trying to find and help our people over here in America find their lost loved ones. So please consider Crime Stories Obsessed and subbing her up.
And stepfather, Christopher Proudfoot. Now, you would expect when a child is missing for people to post about the fact that he's missing. Post the missing poster. Ask for help. And Katie Proudfoot has done that. And there are pictures and asking for help on her Facebook profile. Then on Christopher, the stepdad's site, you see that he has asked for help. He has asked, please help however you can, and shared a photo of Sebastian. Then after that was on the 2nd of March. On the 3rd of March, he posts again about Sebastian asking for help, but then suddenly removes his posts from Facebook. And now it states, this content isn't available at the moment. And this content isn't available at the moment, possibly because the person that posted it has removed the information. So why would you remove the please help however you can and photo of Sebastian if he's still missing? Is it because they're angry that YouTubers have been talking negatively about them and so they've removed them? But the only person that's affecting is Sebastian being found. Why wouldn't you want him found? And why would you remove the posts? People have been talking already about why they have left the home when their stepson, is still missing, in case he comes back. I don't think he's going to come back. It's now been a month since he went missing. Do they know that he's not coming back? But why would you remove the posts? Let me know what you think about this in the comment section, guys. Take care, as always, and I'll be back with you again soon. Bye, guys.
It makes you wonder why he was removing posts. And not only that, but this was probably around the same time that Katie had the signs on her vehicle and Chris had the signs on his vehicle. and took them off. They stopped even driving around with his photo. Out of all the harassment Seth has received, he has never taken his shirts off. He has never stopped advocating for his son with his son's photo. Why in the world would two parents remove a huge advertisement like a vehicle running all over the road where people could see their son because of harassment or something? No parent, no real parent gives a crap about that. None. When they are missing a child, they don't care what level of harassment they get, as long as people are looking at their child. Do they like it? Do they want to go through it? No, they do not. I'm not saying that they're sitting here, please be an asshole to me today, right? I'm not saying that. All I am simply saying is that they go through it. They don't care. They can't care. Their child is still missing. When their child comes home, then they'll break down. Then they'll have their moment. But until their child comes home, they don't care what the world throws at them, okay? Because parents, especially military trained parents, can deal with stress and stuff like that, knowing what the alternative could possibly be for their child. They don't care of themselves. You know, Chris and Katie, on the other hand, defies all logic because they're more concerned about themselves than a 15-year-old child, their child, allegedly. That's the problem that we're having.
Before, is that right?
Correct. He's never run off before.
Let's not forget the scratches that appeared on Chris Proudfoot's arms were there during that initial interview that they had on March 4th. That was the first time we got to see the parents. And it was the first time that they were spoken to on camera. Now, they were on a podcast the night before, but you didn't get to see them. They only used their voices. We got to see no face, no arms, no body gestures, no facial gestures, nothing. We could only go by pitch and tone of their voice and whether they were lying. And there were some times that you kind of, they didn't seem so confident or truthful, or they were trying to get ahead of something. That's the way I always felt. Like stuff that Chris put out there to the public, it seemed like the reason why he put a lot of that out to the public in a lot of senses was to get in front of it. Not because he wanted us to know. He just knew if it came out later, it would look bad if they withheld it. That's why he tried to get ahead of it. That's just in my opinion. And then shortly thereafter, we get our last press conference from, Sheriff Snuggle Struggles. I'm not really a very fond of this sheriff. I'm not really very fond of a lot of things related to this case, okay? I am praying to God that I am wrong, but every time I pray to God that I'm wrong, I end up finding out that I am right? So to me, it feels like law enforcement are squarely looking, that there's no possibility of really looking at anybody else. They would have at this point, they would have eliminated all the RSOs in the area. They would have found all the phones in the area. Nobody else was in that area but the people that should have been in that area, in my opinion. Okay? We need to figure out how in the hell Chris's truck got picked up on the cart. That's something that he said came out by Chris himself, that he acknowledged on Elevated Truth's channels that his truck was on there. He's trying to say it was from after he arrived at 1 o'clock in the afternoon the day. It's hard for me to believe, but either way, it is what he is saying. And we do have the FBI acknowledging a vehicle was moving on a road not connected to their neighborhood. That, I have to believe, is critical. Who is moving around at 3 o'clock in the morning? What happened to the footage at 2 a.m. looking like... That was brought out because of Gaping Lake. I'm not going to plug her on the channel, but... what it ended up being, what I thought it was, because when you saw the struggle, it was always the same struggle, right in the same spot, over and over and over again. The people never moved. You would think that if somebody was struggling with a body, they would move out of the light at some point, and they never moved out of the light. So I started analyzing it, and I realized early on that what it was is the camera. You had the camera on the house, and then you had the trees in between the camera and the garage door. The garage doors, if you guys remember, the owners of that house always keep the garage lights on. So the little squares up at the top of the garage, the squares, is where the struggle is happening, okay, in that glass right there. And it's from the reflection of the lights between the camera, the trees, and the garage. When I went out there, that was one of the first things that I was able to eliminate as being people in light struggling to move something. I realized immediately what we were looking at. I actually said it because of my knowledge of filming, that I thought that that's exactly what happened, but it was confirmed. It was just a theory when I was saying it on this side, but when I went out there and did my drive-through at night is when I realized what we were truly seeing, and it was the trees and the leaves moving in such a way, it was giving this appearance of that. What's your opinion on the lights in the cemetery? I have not watched that. I heard about that from the mob crew, and somebody talking about it in one of my emails related to the mob crew, but I personally have not watched his podcast on that yet. So I don't have an opinion because I haven't seen the information, if that makes sense. Okay, so this was the last press conference. This happened on, I think it was February 2nd. Yep. April 2nd. April 2nd, 2024 is the last press conference. We apparently missed the first press conference. We'll have to find the first press conference. But I think the first press conference was out in front of the command center. I will find that so we can hear that. But here's the second. This is when everything is getting really, really tight for law enforcement. You know, they've stopped the search. People are very eager to find out what they know. He's under intense pressure from the public, from social media, from mainstream media, from people trying to figure out, even from his own government, the local government there were some people really pushing for answers to find out what the hell happened, and people arguing with them from their community, and then us outsiders coming in there and further argue, this man is unprofessional, doesn't know how to handle the heat. Law enforcement, trust me, you have to have the appetite and the ability. He, in my opinion, in today's metrics of sheriffs, is a failure. Okay, I'm sorry. Not because this case didn't go exactly how I think it should. He's a failure for a multitude of reasons. Here's the reason why Sheriff Snuggle Struggles is a failure, not connected to the Sebastian case. He's a failure because he doesn't know how to handle scrutiny. He doesn't know how to handle the public. He doesn't know how to keep the public abreast of stuff when he's not liked, right? He wants to hide under a rock when he's not liked, or he feels like he's going to be in. He's got a little man syndrome, okay? And over and above that, he went to the county commission to ask for a raise for himself and to have his office done, but not once asking for money to help aid in searching for Sebastian. That is a failure. He is failing in every aspect of his job, the public part of his job, the private part of his job, the actually doing his job. He thinks it's for glitz, glamour, a fat paycheck, and a beautiful office. That's what's wrong with him. That's why he's a failure. That's why Sheriff Snuggle Struggles is a failure. And he can't hit a home run to save his life. Okay? He's a failure. He's failed to lead. He's failed to lead.
Okay, and I'm the Chief Deputy at the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. I'm joined today by Susan Nyland, S-U-S-A-N-N-I-L-A-N-D.
This is as loud as it's going to go, so you're going to have to turn up your volume.
I also have with Sumner County Emergency Management Director Ken Widener, Kenweidner. You guys ready? All right. Morning. I'm Eric Craddock with Sumner County Sheriff's Office, and we're going to come to you today with an update on the Sebastian Rogers case. Sebastian has been missing since late February. The investigation remains ongoing with steadfast support from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, and many other local.
And the first thing I want to make sure that you guys understand, and I'm going to say this, and hopefully, if law enforcement comes across this at any time in their career, whenever you have a press conference for a missing child, take the money, whether it's $100, $200, and get yourself a large photo of that child and put it behind you. How disrespectful to a family, a community, and the public at large for you to hold a press conference of a missing, at-risk, and a Amber Alert child and fail to even have a basic photo behind you representing, or if you don't want to spend the $200, push a TV in there and have somebody have just his photo on it behind you so people can see. This is the first major failure. We have an at-risk child, an Amber Alert for Sebastian Rogers, and this is a press conference from the sheriff that appears to be handling himself appropriately. This doesn't seem like it's his first press conference. He knew to spell his name properly, and he knew to ask everybody, are you ready to start? And then he started with his spiel. So it tells me he's done this before. However, the reason why he's unprofessional is before everybody loves the sheriff. This time, we do not like the sheriff. We're demanding answers from the sheriff. And the sheriff does not know how to properly handle that pressure. And therefore, he's hidden. And that's the only, because if he didn't care, he wouldn't care. He would be out here every week telling us, that goes to the integrity of the case. I can't answer that. He'd have no problem doing that, but he would still show up. He would still show up to let him know that they're still working on it. If nothing more, just to tell everybody, I can't tell you anything, but we're still working on it. That's what many other sheriffs do around this country. And while maybe that's a waste of time, it makes everybody feel like something's still being done. When you have a situation like this actually causes more pressure, causes more anxiety and more work from the officers on cases, fielding the kind of crap that they created with this vacuum that they created by not speaking, because he's unprofessional. Again, unable to handle. He can't handle the heat. Okay? Again, there's a lot of people that are sheriffs across this country that all of a sudden wake up one day and have all of us in their freaking lap, right? And they handle themselves a lot more professionally than this man right here. We have to remember that. And again, that has nothing to do with Sebastian's case as a whole. It's just him. It's just him.
And federal resources. We are exploring every lead that comes in and every tip that comes in. As I said before, the investigation remains ongoing. The entire community is deeply saddened by what has occurred. We're all extremely concerned for Sebastian's welfare. I want to encourage the community to stay vigilant, to report anything that they think may be of some significance to the investigation, no matter how minute it may appear to be to you. Please call 1-800-TBI-FIND with any tips, or the Sumner County Emergency Communications Center at 615-451-3838. We understand the anxiety and the concern that this case has caused in the community. We too share the anxiety and concern for Sebastian. I want to reiterate that we are doing everything we can.
Well, you know what? I think that we can deduct something from that, Kiki, because she writes, says, can you believe he was on a few weeks ago talking about how traffic cameras help find missing people in Sumner County? Traffic cameras. So Sebastian's not on any traffic cameras either. So I'm kind of thinking that also supports him not walking out of the house, because there's traffic cameras everywhere. Just saying.
To find Sebastian and bring him home. Despite the passage of time, the commitment to finding Sebastian remains unwavering. I said this when we scaled the search back. Our commitment to finding Sebastian remains. We will continue to investigate every possible lead that comes in. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office wants to express our gratitude to the community and the many individuals who have helped in the search, the many individuals who have called in tips, the many individuals who have printed flyers and kept Sebastian's face in the news. Nothing would make me happier than to wake up tomorrow morning with a tip that cracks this case wide open and we find Sebastian and bring him home.
I know, because let's face it, Tennessee doesn't do anything unless there's a body, right? So we've got a couple more years before we need to go in and start advocating for Summer Wells to be deemed deceased, right? 7 years is coming knocking, right? I don't trust anybody in Hawkins County to keep that in mind. I don't. Hey, Jane, it's nice to see you. Sonny, when he voiced he was looking into his family, magically fell, which led to a fatal injury. Was still attending at a law enforcement conference in Gatlinburg. I remember that, yeah, and he's gone. What about luminol in the house has been searched using? I don't know if they've done it. We've heard that the house has been forensically searched. I know nothing. Nobody from law enforcement has ever once acknowledged whether or not they've done forensics. I mean, we can assume that they've done forensics, but I don't like assuming crap. You know, I think a sheriff that's making buku bucks should be the ones that tell people. And don't tell me that if they did forensics inside the home, the parents being the prime suspects, I'm pretty sure that they know forensics were done inside their home. I don't think you're saying something that goes to the integrity of the investigation, yet we still hear crickets from Sheriff Snuggle Struggles. You know, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why. I don't know if they have it. Again, I don't know. I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating that we don't know something as simple as that. It seems like law enforcement would be jumping out of their skin to let the public know we've done the forensics, guys, right? So we can assume that nothing has come out at this forensics.
This time I'll turn it over to Susan Allen from the TBI.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Let's be disrespected by TBI.
Everybody is,
because you know they're going to be right with the social media.
We want to let everybody know.
Oh, thank you, Brian.
Nobody's forgotten about him. Nobody has given up looking for him.
Thank you, Brian, for becoming the newest member of this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard!
That was false and fake and never happened.
That's just my boyfriend. That's just my boyfriend.
Everybody know he has not been forgotten. Nobody's forgotten about him. Nobody has given up looking for him. At the beginning of this...
And you know why they had to say that? Because everybody was so pissed off that they stopped searching for him. And you know what else I found out? I found out that TBI is not, they're not running the search. They're at the mercy of the law enforcement. And when local law enforcement wants to ixnay the search, guess what? That's what they do. There's nothing TBI can do about it because they're not leading the investigation. Hey, me and you, it's nice to see you. They're not leading the investigation. I can't. So you know who's screwing up this case? Who's refusing help from anybody? Sumner County. And you guys might say whatever you want to say about at night creative intelligence, but they were the ones that were bringing in the U.S. Marshals. They're the ones that presented the U.S. Marshals to Sumner County. Do you know Sumner County turned down the U.S. Marshals? They only had to sign one piece of paper. And the U.S. Marshals could have started helping them, and they refused to do that. Sumner County. So every time you hear him say, we're turning over every stone, you know damn good and well, no, they are not. Otherwise, that form would have been signed and the U.S. Marshals would be assisting. And that's not the case.
Investigation, there was a large land search for him. It was very visible. There were also waterways, lakes, ponds that were searched. There were aerial searches with helicopters and drones and fixed-wing planes. They were done at night. They were done on weekends. They were done during the day. That was very visible, and it was something everybody was able to see. But we want to let you know that even though there is not that high visibility in investigating this case, that we are not done. It's gone back to what could be considered good old-fashioned police work. Interviewing individuals, re-interviewing individuals, checking out leads, rechecking leads.
Hey, Seth.
We have been working with other law enforcement agencies who have had, in other jurisdictions, who have perhaps had some complex cases of their own that they have worked on to get tips from them. We have had, this day of technology with everyone having cell phones and doorbells and ring bells and surveillance cameras. That, as you can imagine, has been a bit of a chore to be able to collect all those and then review them.
So this tells me right here that they've got a lot of footage. Folks, one thing we can definitely say about Sumner County and TBI for that matter is they have overwhelming amounts of camera footage. Now, I want you guys to put that into perspective. They have an overwhelming, if she's talking about how much of a chore it is to go through all of the footage they have. Did you just hear it? Let's listen to that again. So I'm not putting words in this lady's mouth. Going back 15 seconds. Let's listen.
We have had, this day of technology with everyone having cell phones and doorbells and ring bells and surveillance cameras. That, as you can imagine, has been a bit of a chore to be able to collect all those and then review them. It's important.
Collect all of them and review them. It's a chore. You guys heard her. So I want you guys to put your thinking caps on. Okay? Now, I want you to try to explain to me how in the world we can have all of this footage. She's talking about some massive amounts of footage, folks, from all these areas that he would have been. CCTV footage. Now, mind you, there was also a fire department between the school and his residence. There's a fire department. I saw it. I know it's there because I walked down into a big old ditch. Make sure I got my sign put up on their pole. I sure did. No ditch. No matter how deep it was going to prevent me from getting down there and getting my damn sign on one of those wooden poles. So I know for a fact there was a fire department. So you cannot tell me that fire department didn't have some camera footage. So we got camera footage even on the fire department. Now, if he was going to walk to his school, wouldn't he have been picked up on that fire department camera? Nobody left that community. I even think the fire department camera might actually, if not point directly on the entrance and exit of that community. It's damn close. Damn close. Damn close. That's their job. It's her job. Yep. Anyone searching. Yep. But there's something to be had about all of this camera footage that they're talking about and still didn't even pick up one iota of this young man walking down the street or leaving his home. Out of all this photo, nothing was observed, folks. Nothing was observed. Looks bad.
So we know what's out there. We have been reviewing that, reviewing it again. We have had other agencies involved. The FBI has been helpful in that. Secret Service has also been helpful in that. So we are just trying to do whatever we can to advance the investigation. It is not.
Sounds like the Secret Service and the FBI, the way she just sounded, are the ones helping with the imagery. Okay? And if that's the case, they've got nothing. They got nothing. He did not leave that house, which is what they've been saying since the beginning. I haven't been saying that. Law enforcement has been saying that. We know that they've been saying that. So now comes back to the $1 million question, the real $1 million question. What happened to Sebastian? He didn't walk out willingly and freely. That has been eliminated. That was eliminated by law enforcement themselves. So if he didn't walk out willingly, then the only way he would have left that house would be unwillingly. You guys understand that? There's only two, you only have black and you have white, okay? There's no gray in this area. And actually the gray in this area would be he was somewhere in the house. But we know for a fact that that gray has been eliminated, right? Law enforcement went in there with heat sonar, checked the freaking walls. They brought the dogs in and out of the house multiple times. Sebastian is not inside that home. Let me put ones and twos. If you guys believe Sebastian is not in that house, if you believe he's not in that house, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe he's still somewhere inside that home, put a 2 in the chat. Hey, Miss Tiffany, it's nice to see you, OG. It's nice to see you over there. Good morning, guys. So you guys didn't see Miss Tiffany. She's a 1. She's a 1. So Mama's a 2. Thank you for being honest. But most people are a 1. So Mama actually thinks that he's still inside that house somewhere. Interesting. Brian thinks that... Boogie, it's nice to see you, Love Bug. Thinks that he's possible. Wow, that's, you know what's kind of funny. I don't think we've ever even considered that a possibility. Hey, Irish girl, it's nice to see you. Oh, Boogie changed hers to a 1. She doesn't think he's in the house. Okay. But we do have some people. Wow, we never even thought about that. What if he's somewhere on the property? Still. Ugh, that gives me the EBGBs. Oh my gosh, that gives me the EBGBs. That gives me the EBGBs. West Virginia Holler Girl. But most of you... Okay, she's going back. She's saying in the house. I think he's in the house. Okay, Boogie. Okay. Boogie's undecided. She's between a 1 and a 2. Rebby's a 2. Okay, so we have a few that think that he might still be inside the home. Wow, that's going to be a mind blower. That would blow my freaking mind. That would absolutely blow my mind. Oh, thank you, Irish girls. Likewise, Love Bug. Likewise, thank you. Let Them 66 is a 2. Okay. Well, some people think that would be a mind blower if he was there. But for the most part, we think he's not in the house. So if he did not walk out of the house and we all believe he's not in the house, and this is for the people's theories that think that he did go home. Okay. We still have those that believe he never made it home. So we still have to entertain that. But this is for the people that think that he made it home, or whether you also have the 2 theories as well. So if he made it home, and we just learned that they have all of these cameras, we were just talking about how Sheriff Struggles was just talking about having, how the traffic cameras are helping solve missing person cases and stuff like that. So you're having these things, but one thing we're hearing is that Sebastian is not on any of these camera footage, and they don't have him walking out of the home. We cannot forget that there is a neighbor's camera across the street that's literally got the cameras right on their front door. And from Chris's own statement, because it was presented opposite, it was presented to Chris like, how do you know somebody did not walk in the front door, that somebody did not go inside of your house? And he's the one that said, well, we have a camera across the street, and believe it or not, even though it would be very grainy, you would see something. So if that's the door Sebastian walked out of, then we have to apply that the other way, that if he walked out that door, that camera across the street would see something. It saw nothing. No movement, no ghost, nothing. Nothing happened at that front door, and that's according to law enforcement. That's not according to me. That's according to law enforcement. And we're learning about the multiple cameras and how much of a chore it's going to be to go through all of these cameras.
Gone to a place where anybody has forgotten about him or is not pursuing this. The parents have been cooperative throughout at the beginning of the investigation. They have pretty much done whatever law enforcement has asked of them. At this point, we don't have any evidence. There is not any kind of an indication that there is a criminal element involved. But we are keeping options open.
They keep letting us know that there's nothing, and I don't believe that. I believe that this is what they are trying to say to calm parents' anxiety down. Because we all know that if you have a missing person and they're not immediately found, or a track is not immediately uncovered, typically there are two investigations that are going. There's the missing person investigation, and then there's the criminal investigation. And so I don't believe that there is ever a missing child without two investigations going on. Now, occasionally, you know, when you first have a missing child, yeah, it's just a missing child. But after it goes on for a few hours and you're not hitting any type of pay dirt, I think naturally it's time to start thinking of other things. Otherwise, you would have a beat, you'd have a track, you'd have somebody that saw something, you would have something. You'd have some type of evidence of something, okay? In this case, even Ken Widener, I remember seeing it. We are going to find that clip. And when I find it, I'm going to clip it and I'm going to save it forever and ever, amen. But Ken Widener's like, in my 34 or 40 years of experience, we've never not found a beat, you know, basically a scent. And he's like, in this case, we're not finding it. It's, you know, I can't remember exactly verbatim how he said it, but that's basically what he said. Hey, Unicorn, it's nice to see ya. Daisy Duke, it's nice to see ya. So I always remembered that statement, even though it's very, very hard for me to find it. So when we find it, we're clipping it and we're putting it in there, and it's going to say Ken. Ooh, I wonder if I did that once before. Because I remember how hard it was. I remember going through this once before. Let me just go in here and just see if I can search. Let me just see. Let me just see. Search. Ken. Let's go Widener. Widener. No. Okay, let's go Ken. Search. Sebastian Rogers. No, Ken. I did not do that. Okay, well, when we find it, we'll find it.
We don't know what has happened. We don't know where Sebastian is right now, so we are pursuing any and all avenues. We do want to caution some
here it is.
Social media elements out there who purport to have information
Shame
from the investigation.
It's definitely not going to be a press conference until you know, social media is rightfully shamed for their, you know, non-investigative reporting, mainstream media reporters, okay? If you guys want to know who's been doing mainstream media's job, it's been social media for almost a decade, okay? You can't even get, once upon a time, mainstream media salivated over the investigative report, and now you've got independent journalists breaking Somalia fraud cases wide open in Minnesota because their stupid crackpot mainstream media can't get off their lazy asses to go out and do their blessed job. Don't worry, mainstream media. While you're tanking your ratings, me and the people here on social media are going to continue to do our job and put you effers out of business, because that is a shame. You did yourselves a disservice in Minnesota. You did a disservice to your people. You guys are disgusting. Mainstream media in Minnesota should be ashamed of themselves. And their oligarchs above them that allowed them to do it, you all should be ashamed of yourself. You guys should be held accountable for that. That's malpractice. That's malpractice. That's malpractice. That's malpractice. Damn it. The public deserves better than that. The public deserves better than that.
I just want to reiterate that that is not the case. Some of the information that is being provided on some of the social media channels is inaccurate, incomplete. We don't want this to damage the investigations.
Yeah, there's some news on the mainstream media that's always inaccurate, that's lies straight through their teeth, that I would be very, very concerned about it hindering the investigative work of these cases. But you know what? Again, it doesn't come from mainstream media. It doesn't come from social media. It comes from mainstream media. But don't worry, Cupcake. I got your back, TBI. Bullhorn Betty's got your back. We'll make sure we don't spread misinformation here. We'll get it straight. Because from where we stand, it's a whole lot of misinformation from mainstream media or just lazy reporting.
So we would just caution anyone who is following the case to just use some caution as to what you see and what you believe. It's caused a bit of a distraction because a lot of what has been out there in some of the social media channels has been rumors and speculation.
So instead of correcting this and making sure everybody she's too busy sitting here taking the time to speak and shame people. Instead of giving people information, we don't need mommies. Okay, honey? I don't need you being my mommy. I got one and I like her. Okay? You don't look like my mommy. Okay? Just saying.
And theories and
listen how much time she has spent more time shaming social media than she has providing any information on Sebastian Rogers. This, by the way, is Sebastian Rogers' legal team. The investigative team. I just want you guys to know they're too busy. No wonder they're not getting anything done. They're too busy worrying about people like me.
I've caught a hold of it as if it's what's really happening.
Still going. She's still going. Shame social media. Shame on you. Shame. Hey.
Taking away time and effort from what the agencies need to be doing as far as looking for Sebastian. We have had so far...
now she's going to get to the information. Sorry. She needed to take 20 minutes to shame social media, so now she's going to give us the 30-second, Reader's Digest version of what's going on with Sebastian.
As of this morning, 314 tips that have come in through the tip line. It's been mentioned, but I'll say it again.
Where do you think those tips came from, honey? I'm just wondering. Where do you think they came from, honey? You think mainstream media did that? Okay. Good luck with that one.
1-800.
Perfect.
This fake news was indeed fake news. We don't want fake news. You're CNN. You're fake news. You have an agenda.
You're TBI. You're fake news. Oh, I'm sorry.
I find we are also taking tips through email, which is tips to TBI, TBI, at tbi.tn.gov. What's next? We want people, as Chief Deputy said, to continue to remain vigilant, get Sebastian's picture out there, continue to share his picture, his information.
But don't post them on the wooden signs. You might have the jail door come behind you. I'm just saying.
Now that it's getting to be nicer, well, not not today with the weather, but now that the weather has turned warmer, people may be more inclined to be in their yards. If you go out and see anything that looks different, let us know. Something where perhaps a teenager could have hidden. If you have
Oh, let's not forget, nobody called in with a teenager hidden on their property, by the way. So the child went inside the home, never walked out of the home. The only person that left the home was Katie Proudfoot early in the morning, almost a half an hour before they called law enforcement. Let's not forget that. Almost a half an hour before they called law enforcement. He was never picked up on any camera, door camera, CCTV footage, those big, beautiful traffic cameras. And they requested anybody to call in any tips if anybody was hiding in their yard or it appeared that they hid in their yard. And again, 0, hitting 0 out of 0. That doesn't typically happen in cases like this. When a kid wanders, there's evidence that a child wandered. Hell, when an animal wanders, there's evidence that an animal wandered. Okay? I can always tell when I have a possum, a raccoon, a cat, or a dog moving around in my yard. Okay? They leave different types of tracks. They act differently. They move things differently. Like the raccoons are always taking my balls. I don't know why. I think they have a nest somewhere where they let the kids play, and it's always the dog's balls. Okay? Yes, I have. I'm constantly having to put my dog's balls away. We're not talking about leaky balls. We're talking about actual, dog throwing balls. Okay? Purple one has been missing since the beginning of her time here at this house. The FBI needs to take over. I agree with that, because we still haven't found the purple. Oh, you're talking about Sebastian. Damn it. I'm still worried about my purple ball the damn raccoons took. And I know it was the raccoons, because I don't know of any cat that's going to come over here and take a whole damn tennis ball. That's a raccoon, okay? That wasn't a possum. Possums don't really care about stupid balls. It was the raccoons. It was the raccoons. I knew it. Damn coons.
Large amount of property in the area, or something that has any kind of holes or unstable footing or ledges where a teen could have gone to hide or to play, and you don't feel comfortable checking it out, let us know. We'll get somebody from law enforcement to go out there with you or to check it out themselves.
And nothing. Nobody called anybody in. Sebastian wasn't on anybody else's property either. He wasn't in anybody's car. He wasn't on anybody's property. He wasn't on anybody's camera. He wasn't observed on any traffic camera. What he was observed doing is walking inside his home. That's it. The next day, the only person that left that home was Katie Proudfoot. Remember that.
We just want to make sure that every stone is unturned, that there's no stone left unturned, that we want people to make sure that we are...
But we know there's stones left unturned because they can't continuously turn down every little bit of help that could help. I never understood that. If there's a possibility, just even a remote possibility, a 0.0001% possibility of somebody solving a case, why in the hell would law enforcement turn that down? If your case is going nowhere, at what point do you say, well, what difference does it make? Let's try this. It makes you wonder why. It makes you feel like there is the appearance of impropriety going on, because what freaking law enforcement body doesn't want a solved case? They're not doing everything necessary to solve a case, in my opinion.
We're looking everywhere we can. We do want to continue to get the tips, but please don't provide information that you might have seen through social media channels. If you have information about Sebastian, about conversations you might have had with him, things he likes to do, places he likes to go, any people he may have mentioned that are in his life, that could be helpful in finding out maybe what he was interested in. Finally, we want to thank the community. We want to thank the media. You guys have been really
Oh,
good
yeah,
about
the
keeping
mainstream
his name.
media. Of course, we want to thank you, shame social media. This is why I'm going to tell you, law enforcement, TBI, your asses are going to be cooked at some point when it comes to your loyalty to mainstream media. They're a dying breed. They're going bye-bye. You're going to have to deal with people like me. And I'm sorry, I don't see how pissing everybody off is going to help you in the future with a good working relationship with people like me. You're going to have to deal with people like me. Just saying.
In the public's eye. That's really important. And thank you for your diligence in providing that information out there. And as Chief Deputy said, we also want to thank the community. From the very first day, everybody has really been all in as far as whatever they can do to help in the search, to help pass information on, providing water for the teams that were out conducting the ground searches. So thank you again to everybody. I'm going to pass it back to Eric Craddock.
The weather is rolling in. We've got time for some questions, so yes, ma'am.
I was a few minutes behind, so sorry if I missed this, but has there been any indication at this point of foul play or anything?
Has there been any indication
There
of
is no
foul
evidence
play?
to support foul play is involved in the disappearance of Sebastian.
But at this point, you don't rule it out?
We're not ruling anything out.
So 5 weeks, and you guys covered so much ground, searching, going back, researching, checked out every case of a possible sighting, nothing confirmed, not a trace of Sebastian?
Not a trace of Sebastian, question mark.
No footprints, no video, nothing?
Nothing that is taken us to locate Sebastian.
And are there any working theories?
We come up with theories almost daily and try.
They do not want to say what their theories are. Let's listen to this question again. I don't like how he answered this. I think we didn't like how he answered this the first time. This is the last, this right here is the last press conference they ever had. This was April 2nd, 2024. It's an abomination to the case. This man here is just not worthy. Let's listen to this again. He says something weird.
Not a trace of Sebastian?
So he's basically, this is Nick Barris, I can tell by his voice, and he's basically asking, if you can't hear, there's no trace of Sebastian, no footprints, no video evidence, nothing. And this is what Eric, listen to how Eric answers this. We need to analyze this. Let's listen to what words he uses.
Anyway, nothing found. No footprints, no video, nothing.
Nothing that is taken us to locate Sebastian.
Nothing that has taken us to locate Sebastian. Let me write this down. Nothing that has taken us to locate Sebastian. So he's asking about there's been nothing, no scent, no shoe prints, no evidence that he left the house, nothing that has taken, no video, nothing that has taken us to locate Sebastian. So it sounds like they might have video evidence of something, just not of Sebastian. Huh. All right, let's move on.
Not a trace of Sebastian anywhere. Nothing found. No footprints, no video, nothing.
Nothing that is taken us to locate Sebastian.
And are there any working theories?
We come up with theories almost daily and try and investigate and make sure that we're doing everything we can to find Sebastian.
Share any of those?
No, sir.
2 questions, if I may. Have you ruled out Sebastian's mom's and stepdad's involvement in this case? And as a follow-up, have you cleared their alibi?
I think the TBI said it best. They've been nothing but cooperative with law.
He did not answer that. He dodged that question. He dodged that question. He had a very yes or no question. I think this is going to be the closest we're going to get to him not answering that. because he refers to how TBI answered that, and that was not sufficient to that question. That was not sufficient to that question.
Share any of those?
No, sir.
Two questions, if I may. Have you ruled out Sebastian's mom and stepdad
Have you ruled out Sebastian's mom and stepdad
involvement in this case?
involvement in this case?
And as a follow-up, have you cleared their alibi?
Have you cleared their alibi? Very specific questions that could have been yes or no. Okay? Have you ruled them out? Yes, we have ruled them out. And have we vetted their, what was the alibi one? Have you cleared their alibi?
Stepdad's involvement in this case, and as a follow-up, have you cleared their alibi?
Have you cleared their alibi? These are very specific yes questions. If they didn't believe the involvement, here would be the time that they would say it. Yep, he was coached what to say 100%. Yes, because he had a very, very opportune time to say right here that they are not involved. Right here. Right here. I feel things. I'm a Scorpio. He is in the house. The FBI needs to come to that house. Fresher concrete. That house is fresher, and look for fresher concrete. That's possible. I mean, I'm pretty sure they did, but I have to think at this point, the smell. If he was in that house, he would not be alive at this point. They haven't fed him or given him any type of fluids. So if he was in that house, he would have to, I mean, I think that you'd have some type of musky, disgusting odor coming through. I don't know. You know, unless they have a basement. That would be the only thing. And I didn't see any basement doors. So I'm not thinking they have a basement, but they do have a crawl space. The sheriff in Dixon said the exact same thing in Joe Clyde Daniels' case, and Summer Wells Press is very similar. Yeah. Sorry, I'm spitting on myself. Sorry. It's kind of gross.
I think the TBI said it best. They've been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement since day one of this investigation.
That is not answering. That was a very specific question, guys. I want you guys to understand. They were just asked, did they clear the mom and dad's involvement in this case, and have they cleared their alibis? They never said yes. They never said yes. They've only implied that they've been cooperative. Cooperative is not the same thing with what they were asking. Wow. Wow. Let's do this again. I'm going to go back 15 seconds. I'm going to let you guys listen to the whole thing again. You guys make it, and we're moving on.
No, sir.
Two questions, if I may. Have you ruled out Sebastian's mom's and stepdad's involvement in this case? And as a follow-up, have you cleared their alibi?
I think the TBI said it best. They've been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement since day one of this investigation. There is no evidence to support foul play on the part of Sebastian's parents.
That's a lie. He lied. He's a liar. Liar, pants on fire.
Is that moving to Memphis interfering at all with your investigation? Is it changing possibly the avenues of communication?
No, sir.
You mentioned
Hey, Jane.
you asked about recent evidence. We've heard some rumors that there seemed to have some validity, that there was glasses found.
Glasses found.
Can you confirm that?
There were some glasses found in the past few days.
Have you been able to identify that they were Sebastian?
We are still investigating.
That's interesting, because I heard that it takes just a quick second to find out if they are. It's based on the prescription lens. So for them to take a few days to find out was interesting at this time, because I didn't realize how easy it was to confirm. And they just take it to the eye doctor, have them look at the lens, and determine one way or another if it was their glasses or not. But he did later come back and say that the glasses were not Sebastian's. Just if you guys would like to know it. I do recall them coming out and saying that the glasses were not Sebastian. But it is just this statement here I wanted to clarify, because I heard it was very easy, like that quick to determine. It shouldn't take days.
Have you found how is that coordination happening? Have you found their work helpful? Are you guys working in unison or a separate team?
The Cajun Navy is operating independently. They have not reached out to us.
have you found their investigation or their work helpful, or has it been one of the distractions that have been mentioned?
One of the things that I really appreciate they've done is print flyers and keep Sebastian's face out there. It's my hope that one day somebody sees something and calls in and this case breaks wide open and we find Sebastian.
Well, I guess the only way they're going to be able to do that is hang up the Proudfoots by their toes. Maybe they'll squeal. I don't know. I don't know.
They've claimed they've received threats. To your knowledge, have they filed any police reports or reports
About the threats.
Documenting any of these letters?
The Proudfoots threats.
Are we able to learn anything about what those threats?
He said no. He didn't answer it, but he shook his head
Call
no.
the police and report them.
Hold on.
Are we able to learn anything about what those threats are?
They would have to call the police and report them.
So no, they were. So basically, what he's saying here is this is now. Remember, this is April 2nd, and Chris and Katie have went on this diatribe of how they've been harassed, how they've been threatened, how their lives have been endangered. You know, this is their excuse for running off. Remember, running away from home. And this sheriff is sitting here saying, we know nothing about that. You know, if you want me to explain it, then they're going to have to call and report it. So they were only telling media about these threats. If they really took these threats seriously, wouldn't you think that they would have called them in? Because I tell you what, I've called law enforcement for threats I've received because I've taken them seriously. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about whether I was threatened, right? Because I called law enforcement and reported it. He's telling us on April 2nd, well over 30 days after their child disappeared, not one call has come to his office from Chris or Katie Proudfoot identifying any threats made against them, despite how many interviews they've had up to this point stating that they have been threatened and their lives have been in danger. I think that that's really, really different. Why is YouTube holding good to see you? I don't know. I was wondering the same thing. Because I noticed that when I was here and you guys were missing, I was noticing that I had to approve every single one of Melanie's things. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So I will have to go and see if there's anything in the back. But I think it's because I think this can be maybe, I don't know. I know there's nothing in the forbidden words that I put in there for it to trigger, but I've noticed that it doing that as well.
Where's the search go from here? It's been 5 weeks, there's been no signs. Do you believe he's still alive? And what are you guys going to continue working on?
My hope and prayer is that Sebastian is still alive, yes. We're going to continue to work on this investigation and follow up every tip and lead that comes in. Some of this may revert back to us going over some things that we've already done for the 6th, 7th, or 8th time. A fresh set of eyes never hurt anything. We're going to continue to work to find Sebastian.
Have the stories been changing at all as you've been talking with people, interviewing them for?
Has the story changed at all? This is going to be interesting how he answers this. I forget.
There is no evidence to support foul play.
He won't answer it. He's just regurgitating the same talking points. There's no evidence. That's not what the question was. Let's listen to what the question is. The question is,
to work to find Sebastian.
Has the story been changing at all?
There is no evidence to support foul play.
He didn't answer that. That had nothing to do with it. That had nothing to do with it. He was asked point blank, has anybody's story changed? It's a yes or no question. And he's saying there's nothing to report to say that there's any foul play. That wasn't the question. And that's almost implying there is foul play because he can't answer that question, in my opinion.
We have tips called in daily.
Any of those tips seem legitimate enough to expand law enforcement resources?
Regardless of their legitimacy, we're going to follow up on them.
Will there be any other agencies pulled in?
He's definitely good at word salad. I don't know why he's so camera shy.
I'm certain there will be.
You met with the biological father and mother this past week. Is that at their request, your request? Is that just re-interviewing them again?
That was at the request of law enforcement. It's not uncommon to talk to the family in investigations like this. I've got time for one more question.
Just overall, how has this investigation impacted the morale at your department, especially with all the scrutiny coming on?
Morale at his department.
Let me put it to you like this. If my kid was missing, this is the team I'd want on it.
I'm sorry, I disagree. I don't want Eric Craddock anywhere around my missing family. I'll tell you that. I want him or his team. I don't want nothing to do with him or his team. And let's not forget, we learned this is when when the story and the facade of the Proudfoots started unraveling. People started remembering things that they forgot, including Seth. And this is when we started learning about this.
Back to Seth Rogers. Seth, I have so many questions for you, but we're running out of our time together for today. But I want to ask you this. I was listening to a statement of one of Mr. Proudfoot's wives. I believe there have been 5. I'm not judging. I don't care who marries who or doesn't marry who. But this particular one, named Nina, stated that they had 2 children. One she had from a prior relationship, the second she had with him, and that the daughter had braces, and he hit the daughter in the mouth and busted her mouth.
Wow.
Guys, remember, Mr. Proudfoot nor the mother have been named a suspect or a POI in this case. My question to you, Seth, did you know about any of that? I mean, she's on tape saying it. I watched her say it. Did you have any idea that there may have been other issues of violence?
Guys, remember, we started realizing at the very beginning, we didn't know who this family was. But then we started realizing there was something terribly, terribly wrong inside of this home. Not Seth's home, Chris and Katie's home, the big, beautiful house's home. We realized things were not as they seemed. We realized that Chris was a very violent person. He was violent to other children. He was violent to other ex-wives. And then he acknowledges on Smiley Stories World that he had been violent and had the Department of Children and Family Services at his home. Even though he tried to imply it only happened once, he indicated that there was multiple trips. We had no idea that we would later find out that there were 5 trips to that home in a matter of 14 months. That is a lot.
Violence with children?
No, ma'am, I didn't. And I know that Chris has been in Sebastian's life for a while now, before me and Katie were divorced. So
Wow.
Has Sebastian ever said to you or tried to communicate to you?
We forget all of this we forget how distraught Seth was finding out all this information. We forget how distraught he was. Look how distraught he is. Like, he's still, you can literally see in him trying to understand this in real time. Like, his brain is confused. He had literally no idea this was going on. He had no idea this man that has been around his child for all of these years was so incredibly violent. This is when that light bulb on top of Seth's head started going off.
You abuse in the home?
No. He's on multiple occasions sit there and has told me he doesn't want to go back. And I've asked him, why don't you want to go back? And he wouldn't tell me. He didn't say why. He was just like, I just don't want to go back. And it's, at that point in time, I'm just like, okay, well, maybe it's the freedom that he gets at my house. And he's a teenager. And now I'm finding out a lot of this stuff. And I wish he had told me.
Nancy, if I can jump in for just a second there.
That is distraught. That is raw upsetness, raw. He's distraught, folks. He is distraught. There's no other explanation. This is when he was finding out in real time that his son was truly in danger inside of that home, and he knew nothing about it. This is when he started realizing there were multiple trips to the Department of Children and Family Services, and this is when he started finding out that he was not properly informed of what was going on inside that home. This is about around the same time that he started getting an attorney to sue the state or the Department of Children and Family Services to get the reports that he should have had when these things were going on. And he was none the wiser. He had no clue that the Department of Children and Family Services were called in 5 separate times to that home. He did not find that out until after his son was missing. I can't imagine. I just can't imagine. Anyways, guys, I want to thank you all for coming here. We've got a lot going on. Tomorrow, we're going to be going over the 911 dispatch calls. We're going to be going over a lot more information as we start walking back through this case. This is not the first time we're walking through it. This is the emails. We're walking through the emails. We're going to go through the phone next. We already started with the phone, and then I figured we'll go through the emails. The emails are easier for me than it is trying to download all the stuff to show you. And then we'll start going back through the emails again, or back through the phone again. We're building this case. And then lastly, we're going to be going back and we're going to be building a huge, huge timeline. And that's going to be probably, I want to say at the end of January, beginning of February. We might even be pushing it to the middle of February to March. That's when we're planning on building a very, very large interactive timeline for everybody. I don't know where we're going to put it. It might be the first thing we post on my website. I'm not sure what we're going to do with it yet. But we've got some plans with the Sebastian Rogers case. Obviously, it's not being solved today. Obviously, it's not being solved tomorrow. Obviously, law enforcement still hasn't done any additional searches in that community to help locate Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We don't know what's going on in this case. We don't know how much information law enforcement has. We don't know if they've done forensics. There's so many things that we don't know with this case that it's very scary to think that a child can literally disappear off the face of the earth and law enforcement can just be quiet about it and not even inform their community when there's a child missing from it. For me, that is a no-go. I'm sorry. You're not going to make me live in fear. If you are my representative of my community, by God, you're going to tell me what the hell's going on in my community. If not, I'm moving you the hell on. Okay? I will not live in a community with fear. If there's a child missing and I don't know why that child is missing, that is making me fearful of other children in that community. And when my law enforcement, I don't have to worry about it. My sheriff doesn't mind speaking to the audience. If he can't tell you nothing, he's going to tell you he can't tell you nothing. He's going to give you as much information as he absolutely is lawfully able to give you. Why? Because we pay him to do that for us. Eric Craddock is being paid for the same thing, and you see the difference between his sheriff and my sheriff. By the way, my sheriff was he just went viral yet again. My sheriff just went viral yet again with their work here on some of the fraud, the EBT fraud going on right here in Manatee County. He just got put on some of my friends' X accounts. So I'm really proud of my Sheriff Rick Wells. It's nice to see you. Thank you for keeping us all safe. Big shout out to you, my friend. Big shout out to you. And we're going to keep rocking out, and we're going to keep doing good, and we're going to keep leading by example, right? It's all about leading by example and inspiring people to get involved and inspiring people not to put up with the bullcrap, okay? You do not have to put up with it. Let me repeat that again. You do not have to put up with it. You are paying a lot of money to have things work for you, and when they're not working for you, you don't have to put up with it. Why? Because you are paying for proper service and you are not getting proper service. And all you need to do is sit up there and raise your voice. We're going to be raising our voice on February 23rd through the 27th, with our main event being on February 26th. This is the 2-year milestone for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. The 2-year milestone for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We would ask that you guys come out. If you guys cannot come out, we are going to be taking some donations for things like cake and water and signs. I may even do something like I just got distracted. Cake, sign. Oh, and we may do something like we did for Summer Wells and do the lanterns. If you guys would like to donate items for this, either candles, signs, we got markers that we got in. We can take those out there, but a lot of different stuff. So yeah, anyways, guys, I'm going to let you go. I've got business I got to take care of before I leave the house. Obviously, my phone is ringing, and today is Saturday. Today is Delilah's play date. That goes on whether we had Christmas the other day or not, because this is our schedule. So at the end of the day, I pray that you guys had a wonderful Christmas. I pray for some answers in the Sebastian Rogers case and all of our missing cases. All of our missing person cases and our deceased cases, right? We still have people that are out there that have unsolved homicide cases. We pray for all of them. We want them all solved. We want the violence in America to end, and we want to find ways to get it to end. So thank you all for being here, allowing me to bend your ears. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to share this around. And don't forget to come back here. We're going to continue to be talking about Sebastian Drake Rogers as we lead up to our 2-year milestone and our gathering of voices there in Sumner County. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out, and we will see you soon.